What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your Love and Hip Hop Hollywood Reunion Part 2, right? So, I got a new rule for next year, Mona. This is what you need to say next year. Anybody who walk off stage that's not because of a security situation, don't get their check. Because I was so sick of people just walking off the stage and coming back, and walking off the stage and coming back, and walking off the stage and coming back. I was sick of that. And so, we started off with this whole Tierra, that's what we left off last week, with Tierra and the pimp and his two women and this tape. So here's the first thing. They asked a really good question. They said, he said that he likes to find women that are broken. So they posed the question to the two women who are his ride or die, saying, do you think you were broken? And both of them were like, yeah. And he's made my life better, and he's made me better, and he's done this and done that. These bitches, look, if this ain't for the story, if this shit is real, they some brainwashed prostitutes. Like, for real, it's crazy. Then Alejandra admitted that she lied, that she was saying, now she went back to say that Tierra did load the tape, upload the video, that she saw her do it, and that the reason why she lied at the press conference and said she did it is because Tierra Marie is not going to take responsibility for what she did, and she's not willing to go to jail. I mean, she's not willing to see him go to jail for something that Tierra did. So Nina was like, so you'll take a charge for him? She was like, yeah. Do what? So you went to the press conference and lied about who loaded the tape because you don't want to see him go to jail? Like I said, if it ain't for the show, if it is real, then these some brainwashed women, and it's really sad. It's sad because these are not ugly women. These are not, they don't seem like they're stupid women. This man has got them totally gone. So, of course, Tierra, she was theatrical, and she walked off stage, and then backstage, she was like, it's either them or me. It's either them or me. I'm tired of talking about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Bridget Kelly actually asked a good question, too. She asked Akbar, you already see a woman that's vulnerable. Why would you continue to exploit that? And, of course, he hit her with the old bullshit, talking about something, well, you've been known to have more than one man in your life at a time. You should be over here with me. Like, you should be pimping with me. The difference is Bridget Kelly wasn't trying to create a harem. She was just cheating on her man. Like, that's the kind of shit people understand. Like, you messing with somebody, you cheat, which you are trying to create a harem. Like, that is what you are trying to do. That is some totally, like, there's no comparison. Then, is that all we got with them? That's pretty much it, I don't know. At this point, I got sick of the storyline because Tierra kept doing that back and forth bullshit. But I was just in love. You know what? At a certain point, I can't accept that anymore, that you were just in love. You had to know that what you were doing was making a bad situation worse. And you had to know that you were creating a situation that was going to make it, excuse me, y'all, hard for your lawyers to really defend this case. But it sounds like the case is still pending, and I don't know, we'll see. But it's really a he said, she said. So unless they come up with some sort of forensic evidence and can figure out who, I don't know. But it's I don't even know at this point who I believe anymore. Like, I really don't. I hate to say it like that. I really don't know who I believe anymore. The sad thing is that any of them could have done it for whatever their different reasons are. I just hope Tierra learned a good lesson. That's all I can say. Alright, next. Moving on. Then we get to... They did the whole Lucci Nikki thing. Solo Lucci Nikki thing. He said he hit it. She said he didn't. Again, it's a he said, she said. She said she ain't talked to him since she confronted him in the studio. He said, you was at my house 2 weeks ago. I don't know, and I really don't care. Like... In this situation, I tend to believe Solo Lucci, though. Like, because I just tend to believe Solo Lucci. I don't know, though. I don't know who slept with who. I don't know. But I didn't care enough to examine it any further. Before we got to that, they did have K. Michelle. So Tierra did come back out on the stage, and the harem was gone. And then they had Kelly, R. Kelly, Lord, Kimberly, K. Michelle. They were talking it out in reference to the live that she did where she was calling Tierra a lie or whatever. But, K. Michelle basically apologized and said, look, I just ain't got the, basically, Kim was just over it. Like, I ain't got the energy to keep arguing back and forth with you. If you ain't love, I apologize. Like, at the time, that's how I was feeling. But, I'm sorry. And she apologized, and Tierra accepted her apology. And then she said she was going to go have her edible because she just ain't had time for it. Do you, Kimberly? Do you? Then we get, I don't know why. Yeah. I'm sorry. Then we get to the Brooke storyline. So we got Brooke, Marcus, Kelly, Bridget Kelly. We have what's her name? Cubic Zirconia and her mama. And Brooke was like, you know what? I really wasn't. She said, I really apologize for anybody I offended. I just tell my truth, and I just don't have no bullshit with me. And that just everybody just can't handle that. She said Marcus was my man. That's who I was after. That's what I was trying to be. And it was what it was. Everything I did was for my man and to protect my man. And Marcus was ride or die. They kept trying to get Marcus to say something about her being messy or about just something negative, and he wouldn't do it. He was like, nah, that's my woman, and it is what it is. They asked about the wig, and she said, look, what's her face mama was like, look, I knew her wig was loose. Mine was tight. I ain't had nothing to throw. It was either that or me throwing these guns. And I ain't know you was trying. I ain't think you was really trying to do all of that. So I threw the wig. Like, Marcus was like, look, all he did was like some damn pictures, and he didn't see what the big deal was. Amber tried to say that her and Marcus had a history, and if she really wanted to do it, mess with Marcus, she could have done that. Marcus just kept going back to, that's my woman, whatever. They brought up the booby thing, and Paris messy ass dropping that pen. Marcus said he wasn't mad at Paris. Brooke seemed like she was a little irritated with Paris about it. But what Paris was trying to explain was, Paris was like, look, I mean, not Paris, Lord. What Brooke was like, Booby doesn't understand why he's no longer in my first line of defense. And after everything that went down last year, he has to understand that he's just not, I can't have the same relationship with him because of that whole mess that went down last year. And so, yeah, he's got to understand that it's just not like that anymore with us. Like, it just can't be that anymore. Which I think is valid. And I think Booby does need to understand that. And Booby, if you so happy and in love with who you happy and in love with, then let that shit go. And Paris, stop being a messy bitch. You dropping pins all over the place. Like, your only storyline was your fight with K. Michelle and you dropping pins. Like, I'm happy for all your success. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy for the things that's going on with Paris. But, girl, you was messy. She talking about something. She had to drop the pin because Booby is her man. And I mean, it's her homeboy. No, you didn't. Because Booby had no good reason to be there. Like, there was no reason for Booby to be there. And that whole, it was just stupid. The last 2 episodes of the season, now all of a sudden, here come Booby. Brooke been chasing Marcus around the whole damn season, and here come Booby at the end. Talking about, yeah, what's up, homeboy? What's up, homeboy? Whatever. But Marcus is funny. Marcus was just like, look, that's my woman. She ain't going nowhere. It is what it is. Alright, so then we tried to resolve the issue between Kimberly and Paris. Now look, I done went back and forth with this too. Not back and forth because a thief is a thief is a thief. And if you're still $5, you're still 50. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit here and say that K. Michelle don't have a valid point. She absolutely does. What I will say is, it seemed like this went from a Uber ride to now this woman done tore up your credit card. You know what I mean? Like, she done ran up all these bills on your credit card. Now, the thing is this, and Paris tried to be like, well, for all this time she was making it seem like it was just $50. Now all of a sudden it's $300. Well, I don't know all the ins and outs, but what I do know is Y'all know, like I know, sometimes stuff don't always show up immediately on a credit card. It take a minute for stuff to come. You know, you get your bill. It might go through the accountant. The accountant got to check with you. The accountant assuming that the charges are legit. Then you come across the bill and realize, wait a minute, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. And so then we end up with a $300. Went from $50 Uber ride to $300. I don't know. K. Michelle also said that, you know, she found Paris was a fan on Twitter and this, that, and the other. Now, Paris really didn't have no good excuse. She just said we were friends. She was my best friend, and I didn't think it was a problem. My only issue is I thought we resolved this shit. Like, how it came back up, I will never know, because I really thought this whole situation had been resolved in like the first episode. But it seemed like it came back, and however, whatever, whoever, it came back through. But it clearly is no making up for the two of them. Like, that's a wrap. But K. Michelle was clean as hell. Let me tell y'all something, in that gown she had laid out across that daggone couch, honey. She ain't had no shoes on, but I ain't mad at her for that either. What you need shoes for? You was sitting down the whole time. Hair, she must have made about 4 wig changes, honey. Shout out to Jaylon Aaron from Chasing Atlanta, who was now her personal hairstylist. Them wigs was laid, honey. I give you a hard time. I know I do, but them wigs was laid. And yeah, I don't get it. You stole from her, Paris. There's no, you know. Oh Lord, yeah. I just go back and forth, because at the end of the day, Paris, you stole. Let it go. And all of that, it hurt my family and this, that, and the other. It don't. You stole. You stole. Don't matter if it was $50 or $300. You used that woman's credit card without her permission. And the problem is, you get comfortable in certain relationships. Now, maybe K. Michelle told you could use it for one thing and you bought 5 things. At the end of the day, if you didn't tell her you did it and you didn't reimburse her that money, you stole it. You stole it. So, anyway. So then we have Moniece and Princess. And you know what I love? And I said this in a couple of reviews back. Moniece is in a totally different place. She said she wanted to get off the show, that this show has been messing with her mentally, that it's been affecting her mental, that it's just not good for her psyche. You know, we saw her have the nervous breakdown. Well, I can say it was a nervous breakdown, but we saw her have the panic attack, at the studio. This whole reunion, Moniece was a little bit different. Like, she had a couple of little back and forths, but usually it was to defend somebody. Like, she wasn't doing a whole lot of that yapping that she was. Yeah, she did throw a shoe, though. She did throw a shoe. But that was at Akbar, and he deserved it. And I wish the stiletto had hit him right here. But her and Princess, you know, they were trying to do this whole thing about the whole situation between her and Princess. You know, her running up on Princess and all this other stuff. But you know what she said? Before it even went there, she said, I just want to apologize. She said, it has to take a screwed up individual to wish ill will on an unborn child. She said, and I understand that now. And for that, I apologize. She said, I am sorry. And that's that. And you know what? It pretty much took the wind out that whole package. You know what I'm saying? Like, that whole what they thought they was putting together was pretty much a wrap. And it was funny because when they got up to hug, security ran up, everybody stood up, Safari stood up, because remember last year when Zell and Mr. Ray got up to hug and Zell attacked Mr. Ray. So I guess they was like, look, we fell for that shit last year. We fell for the okie doke last year with the fake hug. We ain't gonna fall for it twice. So with that being said, security was right there, but they really legitimately hugged. And Princess was like, you know, I appreciate your apology, and I apologize as well for, you know, speaking on your parenting. She said, I was hurt, you know, I was in that place and I was looking to hurt you, and that's all I had was your parenting. She said, but as a mother now, I get it and I apologize. So, you know, I really feel like that's probably the only resolution we got in this reunion, but I think it was a significant resolution because it's just showing that there's a lot of growth there with Moniece. It's showing that, and I don't know if Moniece is coming back. I hope that for the sake of her mental, that they allow her to leave the show. I really do. Or reduce her participation to a point where she's comfortable. She said that she doesn't know where her AD stand, that she hopes they find their way back to each other. But for right now, she's just focusing on her. And I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that. Now, word on the street is that Love and Hip Hop Hollywood is no more. However, they left all these storylines open. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, we got Lyrica and the Baby. We got Kimberly, Paris going on to do some bigger things. We got it's so many storylines that could keep going. Just Brittany, who it's just so many different things that they could do. So I don't know. I don't know what Mona's doing with this particular franchise, but the only other thing was K. Michelle Kimberly. She did perform one of her songs. I wasn't crazy about it. Maybe some other people liked it. But I've never been the biggest K. Michelle fan. Like, she's got a couple of songs that I like, but I've never been a stan. You know what I mean? It's funny because I wasn't looking at Love and Hip Hop Atlanta when K. Michelle was on the show, and one of my students actually introduced me to K. Michelle, and I was like, oh, she really liked her, and I heard a couple of the curse words, and I was like, oh. But I liked some of her songs, but that particular song didn't really do it for me. It didn't really do it for me. So anyway, that is your reunion, y'all. Ray J and Princess said that they're trying to start on baby number 2, and they look really happy. And so, as reunion goes, it was okay. I don't know if we had a whole lot of resolution, but it was entertaining. The next week we pick up with New York, and it looks like they're gonna run New York and Miami simultaneously again. Remember, they did that last year. Miami sort of debuted like about halfway through where New York was, and then they were on together for a while. But that's because they didn't really have a full season of Miami last year. Remember, it was only like 8 episodes of Miami last year. So I don't know, but it looks like that it's going to be running simultaneous. So we'll see. Honey, it's about to be a busy few weeks. We got RuPaul, All-Stars coming. So we're going to see how this thing go down. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.